Over the past year, as I extricated myself from an unsatisfying relationship that ended up being rooted in pure evil, I discovered all kinds of creepy things about the invisible energy architecture that has been for some time influencing our planet, controlling, specifically in the US, our choices from a metaphysical level. One of the big concepts that jumped out at me in my last book called The Voice Code, where I was seeking to share technology that would help us liberate ourselves from oppression, was this idea of frame lock, being locked in a limited frame of reference, where the choices we have are basically, six of one, half dozen of the other. They're never satisfying because we are trapped in this invisible limiting frame of reference based on what society's programmed us to believe is possible. Well, last year, through my research, I discovered that the basis for what I call frame lock is deep and has an ancient history in what some might call chaos magic, all kinds of black magic, which was something as a scientist, I had never taken seriously or understood in any way. But as I sought to unravel and disentangle myself from a draining relationship with someone who I felt I couldn't trust, but I didn't quite know why, I went down a rabbit hole using that scientist's pattern recognizing mind, and eventually was able to uncover the strategic and quite deliberate art and science of maintaining that energetic infrastructure that has been going on in our world. And it involves secret societies, it involves shadow government agencies, and it is deeply involved with whole celebrity culture as we know it. When we talk about somebody being a star, we're talking about star energy. It's a particular frequency of energy. It's divine, and it's intended to bring a sense of faith, hope, and renewal to the masses. But it'd be very interesting to note that a lot of the people who are stars these days didn't get there because they naturally possessed or radiated or developed their star energy. A lot of them got there by stealing that energy from others, more kind-hearted, sweet, unsuspecting folks who were rising stars that were basically mugged energetically and had that energy stolen and siphoned and given to some of these rising stars. Now, some of you may already think that what I'm saying is crazy, and that's fine. I'm not trying to get you to believe me. There's a rich history of this, though, and I can back everything I'm saying up, and I'd be glad to pass along some references if you want to get up to speed. For now, just take it as an interesting theory to consider. Do also know, in case you missed the video, once I started outing a lot of this stuff, they tried to up their attacks on me to get me to shut up. And then when that didn't work, I exposed a lot of these people, and there's a lot of criminal investigations going on right now, including federal investigations that have been going on since long before I even became privy to what was happening. Just know, since they realized they couldn't kill me, I've been bribed by the Illuminati. They offered me $1 million and a house of my dreams, or whatever car I wanted to fit my standard. A lot of these things that seem like ridiculous myths, Illuminati, secret societies, they're real. They're real. And think of the name Illuminati, right? It's light. It's light. It's a vampiric organization of people who prize wealth and specialness. And I was made an invite into this special group, right? And they said in the invitation, we do no blood sacrifices on people who join the Illuminati. It's okay. Yeah, but you probably want me to drain my own star energy, make some pact with the devil, or sacrifice someone else, right? Because the whole thing of the secret society world is about sacrifice. My initiation into it, I'm certain, came actually with my mom's side of the, quote, family. I'm not connected to them anymore in any way, but they were deep into the Masons. The Masons and the Illuminati do work together. And this is the time where a lot of that crap's getting exposed. That's the main point I want to get along to, right? Whatever it is I'm talking about may sound crazy to you, but everything that's true sounds crazy at first. And I strongly believe we're now living into an era where a lot of this invisible architecture that's been limiting us from behind the scenes is being exposed so that we can be liberated. Think about it. When we're embedded in something, we can't see it. What's happening, and what I believe I and perhaps you, those of us who are part of a collective who are wanting to serve the light, the true light, the love, those of us who have star energy and we're here to bring a message to the world, we're now shining our light. And what cannot help but happen is when we reclaim our power and shine our light, we start to see the invisible snakes that were holding us back. I'm not alone in this by any stretch. There's a somewhat similar storyline to mine that's been going on with a lot of different light workers. And there's these different cults and different tribes of people who are now basically like starving vampires trying to maintain their grip of control over those with star energy. And basically they're starving. And right now what's happening is that justice is coming down. And there will be some highly visible cases in the media, and I think one of them will be mine, in the coming months and year. And I think one of the most interesting things to keep your eye on is there's going to be some stars, quote unquote, who've been stealing this star energy, rise to fame, who are going to crash. And in this video, I just want to throw out, let's call it a powerful hunch or theory that I've formed from spending so many hours now looking at this, about a specific star couple that's going to be disgraced in the coming years. Now, I don't do all my work alone. You know, I do have good pattern recognition skills and a strong intuition. And going through this journey of the last year has helped me really, it's triggered a lot of stuff that caused me to doubt my intuition. So my psychic vision is at an all-time high for me. And by all reports, it's been pretty damn accurate. But it's not perfect. So usually what I do, given my science background, is instead of just having a hunch and just reporting it, I'll keep track of different patterns over months, and I'll listen to other really talented tarot readers and intuitives and psychics and see if anyone else seems to randomly come up with the same pattern. And when the same pattern recurs over and over again over a series of months, then I tend to assume it's probably correct. And then usually what I'll do is I'll report it on this channel, and then we'll see. One of the strongest patterns that I've been able to distill over this past year, and it would be pretty salacious if I'm correct, is Beyonce is been living off of star energy from others for a long time, that she's a fraud. Now, I already detected this and spoke out predicting Jay-Z's downfall a few months ago. We're deeply involved in the occult. All kinds of reports of Jay-Z sacrificing other people in his little posse. But Beyonce, well, just look at her, by the way. I mean, she's creepy. I mean, if you could read the energy, you know right away. But the interesting thing is that it appears that there was a rising star named Aaliyah, who around 2004 died, and she had great star energy. What the pattern suggests is that Aaliyah was Jay-Z's appropriate divine partner, and Jay-Z partnered with Beyonce to suck her energy to help Beyonce's rise. If this is correct, which it feels right if you look at the timelines and everything else, it appears to me now that because these energy siphoning outfits and this dark underworld of divine fallen angel energy sucking vampire perverts, that world's falling apart. So you're going to see that a lot of these stars fall. This particular process of having a divine partnership and then one betrays the other to try to suck the other's light and then tries to prop up a copycat, this is a dynamic that they played out time and time again. It's what they tried to do with me and the person I had been dating. But it didn't work because I'm not an idiot, and the time for that kind of stuff is up. So my moral of the story here is keep your eye on Beyonce and Jay-Z. I've already seen a rise of negative reports of people turning on them. Their bodyguard confessed what bastards they were. Then you see Jay-Z getting on with Oprah, right, to try to look like a good guy. But I think the thing to look out for is actually Beyonce. I think she's a false queen, living off false energy, and I think she's about to fall. So keep your eye on the news over the next few months, and let's see if I'm right. Enjoy.